Hey guys, so I got my shop press set up here. I'm ready to continue with getting our hub pressed onto our shaft. So one thing I want to note before we jump into it is that you'll notice there are 3 pins here, and these go into the coupler that's inside the supercharger main body, and they do set a little bit higher than the shaft, than the center shaft here. And what you want to do is, when you really start to crank down and apply force to this, we want all that to be directed through this center shaft. We don't want to be pressing on these guys. You could risk damaging them if they are threaded, because they're probably pretty small threads. And if they are pressed in, you'd end up just pressing the pins back out on the backside here, and it'd be pretty difficult to get back out. So what I'm going to do in the beginning, just to get the hub, because it's pretty critical we get this hub aligned when we first start off, I will be using this just because these 3 pins do stabilize the snout really well and help keep it aligned and centered. So, but I won't be applying it very much force. I'm just going to be doing the initial beginning just to get the hub started, and then once the hub is started, I'm going to switch over to this 1/4 inch socket. I'm just going to have it there in the middle, so that way I know I'm only the force is only going into the center shaft and not on these pins. So let's get started here. So the first thing I'm going to want to do is clean the shaft here, and clean the hub itself, the inside, so where the surfaces are that are going to be pressed together. So that, it is in my garage and there is dust and probably dirt from other areas, so I just want to make sure those are all really clean so we don't have to worry about scratching any surfaces or calling galling or anything else. So I just got a clean shop towel here. What I'm going to do is just put some brake clean on it. And just give this guy a nice wipe down, get any grease, any dirt. Make sure it gives it time to evaporate. Clean around the bearing area. Alright, so we got that guy clean, and then what I'm going to do now is just flip this towel around, kind of roll it up here. Not too much, but just enough to get it inside the diameter of this hub. I have to do this from a different angle. I'll just go this route. So when I get I'm going to spray this down with some brake cleaner. Let the properties of the towel absorb this brake cleaner. And then just give it a couple runs in and out. Make sure that the surfaces inside get cleaned. Okay, so I just want to give it a check here and just make sure I don't got anything inside. Looks pretty clean. Make sure you got the right orientation before you press this on, because it probably would be a pain to get back off. So for at least these ADMs, know that this is going to be facing out towards the front of the truck. It's got these grooves here that the plastic snout goes onto. Alright, get my press bar here. And let's get this guy set up. So I'm relying on those 3 dowel pins here at the beginning just to get me started. Try to get that as square as I can. Would be really nice if I had another pair of hands, but I'll deal with it. bring this down just till it's about to touch, and just make sure just do another check and make sure everything lined up. Okay. So I got it started. I'm going to back this off a little bit. And just give it a couple spins here, make sure I got my alignment. So looks like we're on straight. Well, looks like it is just a little bit crooked. So we'll try to work that out on the press. So it's not too bad, it's just a little bit. But I want to address that before we get this thing pressed on too far. I'm actually gonna try something different here. Now that we got that thing started, this may not be a good idea, but it sure be easier to work with this side being down on the flat, on the bottom. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to back this off just a little bit and check where we're at. So it looks like we're not on there very straight. Let's see if I can try to clean that up a little bit. Okay, so I got it true for them. I cleaned up the trueness of it a little bit. You're not gonna be able to see this on camera, but when I spin it, it just dips a little bit. So what I'm doing is I'm finding that spot that's higher and just pressing just a little bit down on that edge to try to true it out. I did manage to clean it up quite a bit. But it's absolutely critical we keep this thing as true as possible. So I think it's safe enough to continue on. I found it easier just to do this with it upside down here. Okay, so that was about 2 presses in. Remember, so what you see, I'm just doing this a little bit at a time, so that way I got plenty of room to be able to clean this up if it gets out of whack. Just a little bit out of line. Try to clean that up here a little bit. Alright, so we got it nice and trued out now. We're almost there. So I found it easier, you know, once you get it started, like I said, like this, and it's absolutely critical to get this thing on as straight as you can. And once you got that set, what I found easier for me to do at least is to flip this over, steady with one hand to make sure this stays flat, and then press on this guy, the shaft here on this hydraulic shop press is the diameter is small enough to fit in between these pegs, so it seems to be working out pretty well. Obviously, if I made an adapter out of a steel billet or something for this bottom where those pegs are at, this would probably be a lot easier, but this is what I got to work with. Go for 3 here. And I know this is slow, but I'm really wanting to make sure that I give myself plenty of flexibility to, because I'm probably going to have one shot of this. Just want to make sure I got plenty of flexibility to fix things. Yeah, that's looking really good. Alright, so we'll go ahead and continue pressing this in. One, 2, 3, 4. Let's check it again. Awesome. So we're nice and straight. I know you're probably not gonna be able to see this, but it's spinning pretty good and straight. We probably got a half an inch there left. The toughest part is just getting this thing started. Once it's started and you got it straight and true, it should go pretty well for you. 1, 2, 3, 3 1/4. Also want to make sure I don't go too far and go past that nose. Alright, so we'll probably do 2 presses on this one because I'm getting pretty close to the end there and I don't want to go past it. Two and 2.5. So you can see the shaft's almost there. I'm gonna try to get that shaft my goal is just to get it to be flush with the pulley hub. But yeah, she's nice and true. I was worried there for a minute because it was off by, not as true, it was off by a little bit. But I kind of figured if I was able to keep things aligned and on flat surfaces, it would be able to fix itself up without damaging things. Becomes more, ideally if we just had the shaft pulled out of the snout, it'd be awesome, because having all this weight, this imbalanced weight, is a pain in the butt to work with, but it is what it is. Let's give that a check. Okay, we're nearly there. We're still pretty true. You can see we're close. We probably won't need much of a, maybe half a press on that one. Alright guys, so that's where I'm at. Biggest thing to check here is to make sure that it's not going to hit anything. Good. We're good here. It's not. I got plenty of clearance here. The only other thing to keep in mind is this bypass valve. I want to make sure that this doesn't run into that rod. So let me grab a bypass valve and so outside of making sure you have clearance in here, you want to make sure you don't hit this bypass valve. And see, I still got plenty of room there. If I really wanted to, I could probably press it in just a little bit more, but might just leave it. I think I might just leave it be. There it is. There's the new pulley. And it's just spinning true. I don't feel any end play. Looseness. Doesn't look like we damaged anything. These dowel pins, they're not pressed further than they were. So there you go. Not that bad at all. Biggest thing was just getting that guy started. But I'm glad that's over with. It's alright, so now that we got the new pulley installed, we'll torque these down once we get it installed on the truck. These cap screws here. So now what's all that's left is I'm going to go and clean up these surfaces. Probably get some memory cloth and just clean up inside here where there's some staining. I don't want to remove too much material, just enough to make sure there's no residue from O-rings and stuff. But we'll clean this all up and then throw some RTV on it and install it, and away we go. So we'll do that next.